Today's play is the 2-tap update, and you're going to leave with one action you can start in 5 minutes. Welcome to This is the Play, one practical move for AI and sales. Today, the 2-tap update, and we'll end it with one action in 5. Today's episode is the third of the week. This is what we call our operator diary. So this is me telling you something that you can do that we tested with some different results. So I have some notes here. Here's the idea, guys. If the notes that your team is doing are taking greater than 2 minutes, they won't be consistent, and the handoffs are going to suffer. So when your SDR hands off to your closer, that's where things start to fall apart if the notes aren't consistent. And most people's notes aren't consistent. They say things like, we'll make sure to include what the company's revenue is and include what market they're in and include their industry and things like that. And you end up creating this whole, giant paragraph of different things, and it's just not systemized in order to help the handoff between leads. And most of the time, it takes longer than 2 minutes to write these notes, and that's less than ideal, right? We want these things to be quick. You want these things to be quick. The reps want these things to be quick. They don't want to do any of the admin stuff. They don't, I promise. They want to be selling, and that's what this show is about. How can we get reps selling more? All right, so here's what I tested. We moved to a 2-tap last week, and that is I did this with a couple of different teams, and after each call, we pasted 2 short snippets, an outcome, and a next action. All right. The update time fell to under 2 minutes for these. The handoffs got faster and more consistent, less questions, less back and forth between the closer and the setter, less need for the closer to sit down and listen to an entire call recording of the SDR beforehand. If there's time, I get it. But you want these things to be consistent and easy. Sometimes we're busy and we don't have time to listen to those entire calls. So here's the play. You're going to save 2 snippet templates. One's the outcome and one's the next action. So I'm going to talk through the outcome. The outcome is going to be something like this. Call outcome, you're going to put a result in. Then you're going to say objection X. This is an objection that they have. And then the next step proposed Y, right? So you're going to talk about next step proposed. So in call outcome, you're talking about a result, objection, and next step proposed. Those 3 things. That's one line. The next snippet is going to be the next action. So the next action, you're going to talk about the task that needs to happen next, on what date and time, and who's the owner of it, right? Those 3 things. So there's an outcome and there's a next action. After every call, both those go in and you just tweak a few words. You set the next action date before closing the record. And then on Friday, do a 10-minute audit. 100% of the opportunities should show a valid next action. Every single opportunity now that we're doing this with should have a next action. Very simple. We cap updates at less than 2 minutes a call, so we're just becoming more efficient. We're making this quicker, and we don't close any opportunity without a next action and date. If it doesn't have a next action and date, then it needs to have one, right? That's necessary for this. You're going to keep the snippets really short, no paragraphs, no novels, none of that. And just so you know what changed in terms of us, our no touch today count dropped to near 0 by midweek, just because of those next actions were in there and it was so clear and we knew what to do. And every CRM has some sort of way to create actions as well within them, whether you use Go High Level or HubSpot or Salesforce, you use something custom, you can generally get something like that in there. The next step into all of this would be adding an auto alert for any opportunities that are missing a next action for 48 hours. So if it's 2 days and there hasn't been a next action put in, there's an alert that pops up. That gets a little bit technical that I'm not going to break into, but if you have somebody that manages your CRM and has the technical experience, they should be able to figure that out. No problem. If they can't figure that out, then you have the wrong person managing your CRM on the team. All right. Sip of coffee, and we get into our AI sidecar. All right. So you're going to let ChatGPT, extract 2 snippets from your transcript so you can paste and move on. Here's the prompt, guys. Prompt of the day. From this call transcript, extract 1, the outcome snippet in 1 sentence, result, key objection, and proposed next step, and 2, next action snippet, a concrete task, realistic date/time, and a clear owner. 3, if the next step is missing in the transcript, propose one based on the conversation. Return only those 2 snippets, plain text, ready to paste into CRM. Keep each less than or equal to 25 words. Paste your transcript, send it to ChatGPT, and boom, you're going to get it. All right, so here's your action in 5. You paste, you start this in less than 5 minutes, right? Paste your most recent transcript into ChatGPT, copy the 2 snippets into that opportunity, and finish by using the 2-tap on 100% of the calls this week, and then run a Friday audit. Keep it under 2 minutes. Snippet templates and prompts are in the notes. Steve, signing off of this Operator Diary episode. See you next week.